What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Nerds on the Block. Right now, we got Dexter in video for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
Like, geez. So
I'm still alive.
I'm still present. We're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale and the season as a whole. So we'll just open it up with the first question. What did you guys think of the season and the season finale?
So the season finale, like, just start off with that.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into the finale.
Yeah, so right off the top of my head, it was pretty exciting. It was cool to see Captain America, or what is he actually called Captain America now? Or is he called,
Yeah, he's helming that next.
Falcon America. What is it?
Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon. I think it's
Captain Falcon. That was the other one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's
So-
Captain America and he's the Falcon, so why not call him that?
Yeah. So I enjoyed seeing him in his prime again, because you didn't really get a lot of that other than the first episode, but I'm sure they're gonna make up for that right in the movie. So I'm assuming that's something to do with the screen time, right? They want to evenly share it, but it was nice to see him in full flying action again. Cool to see George St. Pierre, for anyone who
Yeah,
I know.
Like, he actually came back again.
And put in work too.
Every time he was in the scene, I was like, yes, I just want to get just fight anybody at this point. I don't care, just beat
up everybody. Beat up Winter
Grab
Soldier.
somebody and beat the
And
shit
we're
out
allowed
of
to talk about spoilers, right?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
spoiler.
So
cast.
If you haven't
I was a
watched
little
it-
disappointed that he finally died. But, I was like, or maybe they'll somehow like bring him back again.
They should just bring more UFC fighters that can actually act. Like, he can act really well.
Can actually act.
I mean, it wasn't a big role, but
No,
but he's good in front of a
he
camera.
fits the part.
Yeah, he's good in
Yeah.
front of a camera.
Having the French accent, you can, apparently play villains, because if you don't speak English, you're a villain.
Representing Canada once again. We're taking
Yeah.
over.
Of
We're taking over the
course.
MCU. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
we
we're
are.
taking over the
Seriously.
MCU. I don't care what you guys gotta say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
him and that was good. Yeah, it was exciting. I was a little confused at first. I want to say the show, its moral compass is a little weird at times. Like, at times it's like,
It had a villain problem, I found, in my opinion.
and
It was just like every type of like episode, like when you're going through the whole season, it's like, oh, is this guy the villain? Is this guy the villain? Is this guy the villain? It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. It was too much cooks, and it didn't do anything for me, because I found like it was too predictable. It's like, oh, this person's not really the villain. This person's not really the villain, and what it ended up being, I think it ended up disappointing me, because like I know who the power breaker is.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They could have did a better job with that.
When she like gasses that guy in the car,
Mhm.
that's when I was like, hey, one, where are the morals in the show? Because the guy was just a driver, like he was a part of that group, but like what gave you that right to just kill him like that? And not only did she kill him, but that's like a very terrorist way. Like, that's something that's banned in a lot of countries. Where you can't kill people by gas or like inhumane. Like, she literally, like, this guy like literally like died of like gas toxicity. But
there's definitely something that went on with her, because like again, like through the events of Endgame, they kind of talk about like how she's been festering these thoughts for so long.
Yeah.
And like that's what ended up making her want to be the power breaker.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get your motivations as that. But like, I don't know, they could have done a better job of like telling you, like, even with like the US agent and all that stuff, like I just felt like I didn't like that I knew everything that was happening before it was happening.
yeah.
Like,
I just
don't know if
think the goals weren't clear, I guess, and the way the characters were handled, the Flag Smashers could have been handled a lot better. Like, I think that the actors, obviously, it has nothing to do with the actors. They did their thing.
Yeah, they did fine.
I loved seeing Erin Kellyman come back. We haven't seen her since Solo, a Star Wars movie. By the way, we need to cast this girl to play Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm just gonna
she looks the part.
I just need to segue that real quick, because like every time I see her, I'm like, that's Aloy. That's all I can see.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, like, she did an amazing job doing what she was told to do. It's just the direction and the execution of said group.
Yeah.
They could have taken it a step further and made the goals, even as simplistic as they wanted it to be, could have been a lot more clear. So I will say that, like, there's nothing, unfortunately, you can argue against that.
Yeah.
It's just...
Because, like, yeah, I get, like, they're trying to, like, shape them out to be, like, anti-heroes,
even if it was like
but...
like they started like a pandemic somehow, or they just did the John Wick thing where it's like, oh, we're everywhere, Mr. Wick. So no matter what you do, you're always going to be on the run kind of thing. And they made it seem like the Flag Smashers had such big influence, but they didn't show us that.
They didn't show us that, like, oh, the movement is so big that it will continue. It's like, but
even
where?
after I die, it's like, well, you know, it'd been nice if we seen that, but you know, it is what it is. What it is.
Like when the guy's like at the very end escorting them in the police thing, and he's like, you know, one world, one people, or whatever. It's like, I'm curious to hear why and how it like grew to that extent. Because like it's like here in our real world, right? We have like the Anonymous, and we have things like that.
Yeah.
But, like how. Like, is it really that world popular to the point where, like, somebody in the police is actually going to, like, turn on their whole job and career? And
I would have been fine with all that as long as they
so.
just executed it in a way that was clear. So even if you agree or disagree with the movement, at least it's it's like, okay, I get what they're doing. I get what they're trying to do. And regardless whether you agree or disagree or think it was something that made sense, you know, for them to do after, you know, the whole events of, you know, the MCU, at least I understand what they're trying to do, which it was kind of muddled in terms of, and then the whole inclusion of Zemo was good up until the end where they're kind of like, okay, he's just in prison now. And I was like, what? I thought he was going to Wakanda to get like tortured or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they kind of
like
alluded to in episode 5.
We're taking him, but then he's
just in prison.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, so did they take him and then like do like random like torture stuff to him? And he's like, all right, well, it's been fun, so I'm just gonna go back to the Raft prison now. It's been a real slug.
And this is supposed to like lead into another Marvel series that they want to introduce, is the Thunderbolts. Is that's what they're supposed to be alluding to?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. So or it's gonna be a cross between like Thunderbolts and Captain America 4 somehow.
Yeah, which also got unveiled after the season finale, which is really cool.
So is there like a continuation of this happening, like a new Winter Soldier?
Well, I don't know if this show per se is going to get another season. It's just Captain America 4.
Segueing into other movies. These shows are just segueing.
But what about the guy? Well, I forget his name, but the bootleg Captain America.
Oh, the U.S. agent. Yeah,
what is
Johnny
his
Walker?
name?
John Walker.
John Walker, yeah.
He's not, we don't know, he doesn't, in comics, he doesn't have like some superhero name.
It's U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
That's his name, yeah.
That's his
name. Yeah, so that's what, and he they say even at the end of that episode, it's like, you are now the U.S. agent. It's like, so he finally fulfilled that story arc, which is cool.
He's a very anti-Captain America.
Yeah.
He's like complete opposite of what Captain
America.
If Captain America was Sonic, he's Shadow. If Captain America was Goku, he's Vegeta.
That part was a little weird because like the government said like you're completely terminated, you know, or you don't have pension, you know, like everything's fucked for you. But then at the very end, this other government's like, okay, you're gonna be a U.S. agent.
But she's off the books. That's the difference.
But even still, like they still said if you ever do anything again, like we're coming for you. So they could have had some kind of like to give us some kind of answer there, like the politician guy, the one that said you won't, like you're never gonna be anybody again, basically. Like it would have been nice to have some kind of closure as to how. I guess you're supposed to just assume that because at the very end he showed up and did good, and they just
he's a good guy now.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was never a bad guy.
Yeah, no, what he did.
I actually liked his.
He was just
I liked his motivation.
Very misguided though, and very naive, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, he definitely is.
Why he ended up in that position to begin with, because he just believed too much in the people he was working for and thought they had his best interest in heart when they definitely didn't. So,
but I feel like that's what like a lot of people would be like in a position of his power, like the army. It's like they think like they are the top crop of like society.
And Captain America, the original, was the same way for like
he was up until Winter Soldier.
Time. Yeah, that's a long time. Like
he was also sleeping for a while.
He was also sleeping for a while.
If that's what you were referring
to. When he's awake and like. Just all the wars and everything he went through. He was a war dog. He was someone that just listened and followed orders for quite a while. That guy in that movie or
in the series,
agent, you know, he's only in his late 20s, 30s. So like, and he doesn't have the serum and whatnot. So it's not like he's been misguided. But that's just how military people are, right? But I never looked at him as a bad person, and I definitely like when his friend died, and then even after all that, they're like, oh, we're taking everything away from you, your honor, you're not going to get paid any money. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even think that would happen in real life. Like, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they would have just dismissed him and gave him an honorable discharge. But they were trying to lead you into, like, him going kind of mad.
Yeah.
But
he also
that's where they
killed
kind of-
somebody in public, so which is a bad look on their
No,
part
it
because
is.
he's
So
supposed to
I get-
represent Captain
America.
America, right?
Yeah.
I get getting fired, that's what I mean, but not like we're stripping you of everything you ever worked for. Like you're like that's where you can tell that I feel like the writing was a little wrong there, because even nowadays, like, police kill people all the time and they don't
Those people
they don't
somehow
do-
keep
yeah,
their
they don't-
jobs.
yeah. Or
They
they
somehow
get
keep their
let
job.
go, but they still get to keep everything that they ever worked for.
Yeah.
Whereas him, like, everything he did in the past was still earned and it was still just.
Well, I guess
right?
what happened to him was what should happen in real life. So I
Yeah,
guess
I
he's supposed
hope.
to be a representation of
Oh.
what should happen.
Yeah, that's the most.
But
That's
we're
the
not
sad
even
thing.
gonna go too far into that.
Yeah.
I think if he's
That's the
anything,
thing.
he's representation of what should happen to somebody
Yeah.
who kills somebody that they shouldn't be killing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, he killed
Well, that guy definitely
Really,
deserved to
yeah.
die.
he definitely deserved it,
He
but
definitely
in a
deserved to die.
general sense,
Yeah,
that's
because
what
he's still
should
a
happen.
threat. Like, that's the thing. Like, that
Yeah.
person that he did kill was a threat. Like,
And
other
they do,
situations.
and they do worse for
Yeah.
less. At least
Oh,
he
yeah.
had reason to kill him.
Oh yeah.
So like,
That's what I mean. That's why I feel like.
Yeah, I think he was just.
It's definitely a gray
I
area.
think
for
I think
that.
firing him from Captain America makes sense. I just don't think taking everything.
well, that's
he ever
why
had,
she's
right?
like, well, you're going to be U.S. agent now. This is completely off the books because
Yeah.
he's not affiliated with anybody that has any ties to the government. He's,
But yeah, I actually like
So-
him. I'd like to see more.
But
I'd
no,
to see
like,
more
he
of
did,
him in general.
He
Yeah.
did a really good job playing his character, and he's now part of the crew of I played my character so well, people hate me.
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
I think now people probably like him a bit more.
Yeah.
How it ended and changed.
Oh yeah.
I think at first people, especially people who aren't like
Well, people are
big
just
Marvel
like
fans, they've probably
very
seen it and were like,
weird because like you change something and they're like, well, screw this guy. He's no Steve Rogers. He's no Chris Evans. It's like, what? Who's watching these shows? Like, and then starting these.
well, that's what I was just
movements.
get to get
Like,
at, is that these people who watch it probably aren't even really like the biggest.
They're
fans.
not the biggest
so they're
fans.
thinking that this guy's actually
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
Captain America.
That's
and it's
just
like,
so
no,
hilarious.
Like,
It's just a
obviously,
hilarious
it's a different
thing.
setup, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just hilarious coming across stuff like that.
Yeah, other
That's
than
what I
that-
find ironic. That's why I want to segue into like what do you guys think of the suit? Like when Anthony Mackie was in the suit. Like
It's comic
what'd you
book
guys
accurate,
think?
so
Yeah.
I think it's fine with me.
I like
Yeah.
everything other than the. I don't like the face part too much.
I know. I
the
think
way it
I think
wraps
there's
around
some
his side.
there's-
It's weird.
Yeah.
I almost would rather him not have it, the face part.
Yeah.
And have maybe just the goggles or something. But like the way it just seems a little cheap and odd the way it goes on his face.
It's
But
just
everything
it's
else seems pretty good.
unnecessary. It's unnecessary, but I applaud them for sticking to the source material because
I do too on one hand.
you don't always get
So
that.
is
Yeah.
it white in the sword.
It looks
Yeah.
exactly how it
Yeah,
looks
how
in
you
the
saw
show.
it. But for me, I don't think it translates well on the screen. I think it's one of those things where sometimes, like what we see in the comic books, it doesn't always like.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta
that
work
is only
on screen.
one. That
So
is
I feel
only
like that
one
whole
small
thing here-
piece of an entire.
Yeah,
suit.
it's just like just take it off.
They might change it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I don't
need
think
it,
it
to be
works.
honest. Like he just seems like he looked really cool.
Yeah.
With just his head pop.
Yeah.
popping
Just with
out,
shades.
right?
or something.
But
Yeah.
here's my counter argument. It's like even in the Captain America, like the first film, like I was like, I don't care for his suit. But then in Winter Soldier, that suit, I was like, damn, Captain America looked clean.
He does.
And it's like that was my favorite suit he ever wore.
But I
and
think
then
his-
Civil War was like, whatever. And then Endgame, it's like, I just think the Winter Soldier suit was like the optimum of like his best suit. So like, I'm hoping that he'll have variants because I did not like that suit. Like, it just doesn't work on screen for me, anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Could have been a bit better. But
It could have been. It could be like
Yeah.
I was like, obviously what he's doing. It's like, you know, it works, and he's still Falcon. He's still flying around.
Yeah.
Like for me, like there are some things that happen in this episode, in the last episode, that just was just like, even like the helicopter thing, like how there was a pilot in there. Just so happens
Yeah.
that someone knows how to
Yeah.
fly this damn thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
well,
God.
there's so much damage
Outta
going on, too,
here.
right? Like helicopter like blows out. Like people are just dying left, right, and center, and that's what I mean by sometimes the moral
Yeah.
compass of the show is a little strange. But I do like at the end when Captain Falcon. I like calling him that more, but I like at the end though when he, you know, he finally gives that speech to the politicians and he actually like lets it off. Like
That was the best
that
part.
was interesting.
That was
Yeah.
so
That was
good.
also like something more that hits like at home too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things where
And it was well written. It didn't felt like it was
relatable. No,
dragging.
it felt good, and it wasn't because at first he just talks to him and the guy just dismisses it, and you almost think that's it, and the speech is gonna end. But then no, he actually just keeps ripping him. And he's like, well, if you don't stop, like someone stronger than her is gonna come back, and
Yeah.
You don't want to see 2.0. He literally says that.
I find it. I get he's Captain America. Like Captain America doesn't like killing, but for God's sakes, like he was literally going to get shot in the face. Like if that blonde girl didn't shoot that girl,
yeah, like he probably would have died.
So that's where I'm like, hey, you need to like be a little smarter, because if you're representing a whole country and trying to save everybody, how are you going to save people if you're dead? Like, like you.
Yeah.
So
no,
I
that's
don't
fair.
get what he was thinking and thinking like, oh, like she's going to change her. No, she was.
But he still could have subdued her. He didn't have to kill her.
No,
or
he didn't want to.
He still could have subdued.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm not going to fight you. I'm like, bro, I don't abide by what you're saying here. Are you trying to protect people
or not? Yeah.
Or what? Do you think there's a camera on you? Like, there's no camera in this little like.
You could just quickly knock her out and
boom,
then arrest
done.
Her. So I don't know. Like, I hope his morals like change a little bit, because it just didn't really add up. Because like I know even the Winter Soldier who says I'm not gonna kill people, I know his ass would have knocked her out or done something.
Because that's another thing. Like what you just said. Like think of in episode 5 when they're taking out the U.S. agent. Like just look at that moment. Like they are trying to knock him the hell out.
Yeah, they're fucking him up.
They're
So
trying.
what's the difference?
You see her. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna touch you. It's like, no, if you are trying to engage,
it's like,
I will knock you out.
Yeah, she's misguided, but she's still very capable, very smart.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, it's not his character. It's once again I find writing, and I'm guessing that they were writing it in a way of like, okay, we can't have him look so mean on this little girl, but it's like she's a fucking like, terrorist, dude. like she literally is like responsible for so many people dying. So like he's got to have at least some ground, you know. And I thought, okay, maybe her direction is going to be like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
she was kind of bad, and then we're going to maybe have like a change of heart, but maybe that would have been too typical.
Yeah,
but. Then Blondie ends up shooting her, and I was like, well, if she didn't do that, then...
Power broker,
you know. That was a little confusing, too, because she's the bad one, so I don't know why she would even care. I guess she would have died.
She wants to look good in the limelight of Captain America.
That's true.
And remember, she wants to get her she wants to get her credit cleared, right? So she'll do whatever
that's also that,
too,
yeah.
Do whatever she has to do.
Yeah.
So that's fair in that regard.
Other than that, the series as a whole was pretty good. I could care less about Cap Falcon and his sisters.
I was just about to say that. That story beat, I could not care less. Like I was like, I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Like,
or even like Hollywood just loves to do this thing where it's just like every time they show a black character, they need to show poverty. They need to show like they're broke. They always
really did.
Why do we have to represent black people always in a poor limelight? I'm sorry, I'm sick of it.
Louisiana.
Get over it. Like you can tell a better story. Yeah, like with black characters, like we don't always have to be in a bad situation.
Sorry, in a perfect world.
In a perfect world.
They did have a huge black cast though. That was that shit was bigger than fucking Black Panther. It felt like.
I wouldn't go that
far, but it was like a show that you weren't expecting.
But they had characters that need to be shown, like Isaiah Bradley showed, and the guy who played him did an amazing job. Like whenever he was on scene, that would be cool. He stole the scene, and you felt for him.
To do a a spin-off of
it would be nice, but it's probably not going to happen.
No,
I did like that closure that they finally gave him at the end. That was nice, but other than that, the boat shit, I was like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I did like though that they were constantly going into the politics and being like what had happened over the last 5 years, and everything they said makes so much sense. You had a house, boom, you don't have a house anymore. Now somebody else moves into your house, and then 5 years later you come back out of nowhere, and you're like, well, and then where's my house? Where's my money? Where's my job? Like I got that, and then the government even at the end was like, it's not as simple as what you get, and that's what, and Cap Falcon's like, you're right, and that's also why it's beneficial, because I'm not seeing the complicated side of things. I'm seeing the more empathy side, right? And that's where he's like, we need to come together, and like it needs to be both, where like we're trying to figure out the real right solution for these people, but at the same time, banks shouldn't be turning people away because you technically didn't have credit for 5 years or whatever. Like there should, that's where the government should be coming in and helping these people, because it's like, okay, well, 5 years ago they did have good credit or they did have whatever. So like, let's take that into consideration instead of literally acting like they never came back. But that's a really interesting thing, and that would be that could be almost a series on its own somehow, to see, what happened in that 5 years time.
Yeah. With all those other people,
with half the world.
The world.
Well, I imagine a lot of it was just shock and awe, like just not knowing how to cope with,
like everybody
what
coming
just
back.
Happened.
It's like
they're
it's a
trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and then maybe I would say like to years into it, they're kind of like, I guess we rebuild society, because it's like,
Yeah, they're probably rebuilding right from the.
because could you imagine? It's like these people just disappeared. You have no idea. They're obviously gonna try and figure out what happened. Like,
Yeah.
the MCU characters, they know what happened. Nobody else knows what happened, so they're just sitting there like,
Yeah, it was probably pretty quick though that the
What
government
the
already
fu-
announced out loud that
Yeah.
like some evil villain like erased like half the population, right?
Yeah.
I think the world.
Maybe,
I think
maybe,
they, 'cause I think
yeah.
they do mention that in the show.
It doesn't feel
but-
like they were doing that in Endgame though. Endgame looked so desolate and like there was no hope, and I think that was what
Endgame
they
was
were
like-
going for. It wasn't
yeah.
like, hey, like broadcast right here. By the way,
Yeah,
that's
half
what-
the motherfuckers
That's
are
why I
gone.
figured like the first year, at the very least, the first year was all like just not knowing what to do with
Yeah,
themselves.
people were rummaging. People were going around and trying to
You're not
survive.
just like, well,
Like,
everybody's gone, so let's just go back to work, go back to school.
No,
like,
what
no,
the hell?
nobody's doing that.
No
in
one's
the
going back
first
to
year.
school.
In the first, did we do that with
even
COVID?
normal- Yeah.
No.
exactly.
So
there you
like,
go.
I feel like 2 years in is when they kind of were like, well, I guess we should restart society then, because like these people are obviously not coming back.
Yeah.
So like, we
But
might
I
as
don't
well.
even the event of this show. It's not even that. It's not after so much time after the events
No,
of
it's pretty
Endgame.
much after.
It's pretty much right after, like
it's the
WandaVision,
shield.
and then it's this, and all this stuff is happening. So like,
Yeah.
this is still the world trying to be like, what are we doing?
And they're still,
You know,
and it
so-
makes, and I like that they're addressing that. They're not just acting like Endgame didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily just been like, we're gonna create these shows and pretend like Endgame never happened.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna like bat an eye towards that. So
Yeah.
you got to give them credit for at least acknowledging the fact that
That it happened.
people are gonna ask what happened.
Yeah.
What were people up to? What were people doing?
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
What
What'd
was
you,
people's-
what'd you guys think of Buck though and the Asian side story? I thought that was
Yeah, you know what? I was
didn't-
actually a little upset that they didn't show you on screen his reaction. I remember feeling that way. I was like, because like,
Oh, the
if you
dad?
the dad, the
Yeah.
dad's been like, bro,
Yeah.
I,
than
I
that-
killed your
You
son.
saw his reaction,
And you dip.
but
No,
I
not
mean,
really.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's probably really like he probably didn't really say anything. It was probably as simple as like very upset, and then he walked out of the room. Like I don't imagine that father was gonna be like, well, one, start crying or start beating you, or really, you know, it probably wasn't too much. It's probably like whoa, like that's surprising. And then for me, it was sad, but I didn't. It was far fetched. It was like,
Was
like,
it?
What, yeah.
I don't
what
know
are
if
the
it was-
odds that it's fucking the guy who goes to drink a bar. And
Yeah,
the
but you're
Come on.
what you're basically complaining about is the
Yeah.
human aspects of these characters. This is twice that you've done it. And I was like, maybe he's just hating on the
No,
Falcon. But
it's
this
not
is twice
the
you've done
human.
it.
It's
So I feel like
far-fetched.
you're
It's
not
just
like
writing.
that's the regular world. In any
I don't know.
in anything that you write, it's a rule of thumb. You got to introduce the characters in their ordinary world, whatever that is, which is basically what were the characters up to before the crisis.
That's
In
not
his
what I'm
case-
arguing. I'm just saying that he ran into.
But you're
of
saying it's
all
very
people he
far-fetched.
ran-
I don't
because-
believe that.
Oh, of all the
Um,
people he runs into in the world, he runs into some dude that he killed his son years ago. Like that part, I'm not.
Okay,
having
no,
a
I
problem
see-
with the humanity aspect. I'm having a problem with.
Like it just so happens
Yeah, it
he
just
made
so
friends
happens.
with. Oh, I killed your son, by the way.
Yeah, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I still felt.
But then what else would
Still
you do
felt
with his character? Because the whole point
You're trying to make him human.
the
I know.
whole point of his book was like that's the one thing on his book that he never.
I just think they
Took
could have
off.
maybe come up with something better. That just didn't seem as far fetched.
Yeah, it's fair. No, it's to each their own. I just think it's.
It also
it's-
felt.
it's-
I still
it also
think-
felt like sad because the way it ends, it's like kind of like what you're saying.
I just didn't get a
any
resolution
close-
from
exactly.
him. I didn't get the
you
closure.
just
from
didn't get the
him.
closure from his reaction.
Yeah,
Not even that,
But-
but I mean, even between them two, it's like there was no forgiveness.
There's no. I don't know if they forgave each other.
Yeah,
I don't
all
want to
you-
talk to
all
you
you
ever
get
again.
from
I don't
it-
know. Like what? What was that?
The
He
only
just
person who
walks
got
past
closure
him.
was the Winter Soldier. Like he
Yeah.
got closure by writing off the book.
Yeah.
But it's like it just would have been nice to like hear the father be like or they actually really talk about it, and then he's like, okay, like
All I needed was
forgive you or something.
maybe
Yeah.
3 lines of dialogue just from him. I wanted to
Yeah.
hear that because like they're leading up to this. This is the biggest one that's like on his shoulders. It's like this is the one person that I killed that I can't
Yeah.
I can't just shake it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it just felt like at the end it was like I'm just gonna walk past that place that we used to grab drinks
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's
No,
what
it doesn't
was
work for
strange.
me. That's what
Maybe
I'm trying
they'll-
to suggest.
But I
Maybe
still-
they'll show it again and they'll give you closure.
No, I
later,
doubt it.
but I
No,
don't-
I don't
that's
think
that's
so.
the end of that
But
story.
I don't feel like it's far fetched by any means. I feel like that's
Fair enough.
completely fine. Like they other things have done way more ridiculous
Than that.
tie-ins than that. So I
Yeah.
think that's fine, and that's the one that he just couldn't close. Like he could have closed it. He clearly known this guy for a while.
Yeah.
So It's just the fact of the matter is, it's just that he didn't know how to bring himself to tell.
Well, he also didn't know at first that was his son.
I killed.
Yeah, he
finds
figured
that
it out
like,
when he goes to his apartment.
Yeah,
and he's
he
like,
didn't know
oh,
for quite a while.
I remember that.
That's what I mean by far-fetched, because it's like they're having drinks at a bar for years, and then all of a sudden he finds out that, oh yeah, I also killed your son way back in the day. Like, you're gonna tell me that?
Because he has like nightmares, flashbacks.
The odds of that are just slim to none. But it is what it is. I get why they did. I'm just saying that it just the odds of it are not realistic.
And it's just supposed to represent the senseless, uncontrollable killing at the end of the day that he's.
Yeah, which they still do. That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, I'm in between that.
I wish I didn't. He was the one person he wished he didn't kill.
Out of all those, the other ones, they probably deserved it, or even Tony Stark's
or they were
father
probably
as well.
People that were actually like doing damage or whatever, significant people. He was just a kid that was just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Which is why it's just it's
yeah, that's another
which
thing.
I find it's fine for me. It just represents that, the Winter's really he has such a bloody past that he just can't run away from, and every time he sees his dad, and now that he's figured it out, it's like fuck. Like, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I find this out now.
And it's like, how do you feel as a father befriending someone that killed your son? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that I want to see. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is
the only thing that
sucks
is that they didn't show it, but I think it's fine.
I don't know. It didn't work for me. I was upset because Winter Soldier was arguably like the character in this show that was like, making me watch it every week. It wasn't Captain Falcon until the very end.
Whenever I mentioned the show to somebody,
it was Winter Soldier. It was Winter Soldier.
Have you seen the Winter Soldier? I don't know why, but yeah, it's like I mean, if you were to count the minutes, I guarantee you he has more screen time. Close to, to an extent, or at least it felt like it. Like the very first episode,
I just think
Falcon had so much, and then it was the very last episode that he had a lot, and then everywhere in between. But again, if they're leading into movies and he's gonna have way more screen time, then it's just better to be fair and give other people.
I just found Winter Soldier's minutes were more impactful. Like, even like the inclusion of Wakanda, like everything that he was doing, like his whole motivations to be a better person. Like, I just found like his minutes on screen were more impactful. And when Falcon was on screen, it was like, okay, like, what do you have to offer? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I always felt.
They had two completely different stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Two completely different characters.
That's what I mean. It's like one was better than the other.
Winter Soldier seemed to move the story more forward too. Like you're saying, like those moments had more to do with the story.
They had more weight.
Yeah.
He had more weight to the story. Whereas
Falcon's best thing was with that Isaiah guy. Like that was like his like more shining moment where he had some like personal ground.
Yeah.
They could have made it a lot better for him probably had they not done that whole boat shit with his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that was supposed to represent.
It's supposed to make you feel close in this family.
Well, and he's been gone for 5 years, and his sister's been struggling for 5 years, and it's like, I'm back, and I can't do shit for you. Like, so it made sense why I was in there, because it's like I used to have all this money because I was working for the army, and now I'm gone, and I come back, and you're struggling, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's bad, and then on top of that, you're a minority, so it's even worse.
That's where it's also far because it's like the man's got money. Like, he's got to have money, so right?
Like, working for the Avengers.
Maybe he did have.
No, I don't think. I think that's what they're suggesting is like he doesn't have money.
No, they did. They said it at a few points. He's like he doesn't make.
No, he doesn't make money. You think?
Like,
yeah.
Man, if I'm fucking Captain America, I'd be like, you're buying my sister this goddamn boat, or
you would think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you would think so.
But they kind of was kind of strange, and it's like, oh, my credit's not, and his credit wasn't good enough. That's the other thing too, which I don't get it.
Well,
because he's been gone for 5. He's fucking Captain Falcon. I don't want to hear this credit shit. Like from like.
Yeah, you see how they're like, yo, oh my god, I'm such a fan. Can I give you a signature? Get the hell out of my face.
Punch this guy in the
thank you.
Like,
no.
Oh, I've been gone for 5 years, so like, fuck me and my credit. But like, I came back and beat Thanos. Like, fuck off with that.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, that if he actually has a sister in the story, and it's okay, we do need to have some kind of hole. But then they give me more than 6 episodes. Yeah. That's where they spent quite a lot of time on that like arc between him and his sister and the boat.
But I still don't feel like
it's like
I got a lot out of it.
If it was a longer series, then it would have felt.
It should have been at least 2 episodes.
Yeah, or like 10 episodes. Like,
I would have liked 8 to. I really don't like these short episodes.
When that agent guy was starting to go bad, he never actually went bad ever. If you really think about it, he had that one moment where he fucks that guy up in the street.
Yeah.
And then they hint at it because those people are like, we're taking your powers, we're taking everything you got. Then he makes his shield, and he comes back. But the moment he comes back, he already chooses good. So it's like I would have liked another episode of him, 1 or 2 episodes of him like fucking people up, and he hadn't changed still yet, right? You don't have that at all. The moment he returns to fight those the terrorist people, he already changes. He's already like, I'm good. Like he makes that choice to grab, and I like that part. That was a really good part for him to choose between her or people, and he chose people. So in my opinion too, that was also a good example of him not just choosing the government. He chose like saving people over like his own, you know, whatever people tell him, his own beliefs. So that was nice. But I just would have liked an episode or so of him being a little evil, not evil, but like fucking those people out. Those
like trying
people,
to like,
being, they didn't, especially because he's so strong. And if they don't ever return to him, then
no, I think they will. In Captain America
will.
4, they definitely will.
They definitely will.
I think.
I don't know how long he's gonna be in the actual universe itself, but like
is he relevant in the comics? Really?
Yes and no.
Well,
yes and no.
Because he might be in the Avengers movie.
Maybe in this cinematic universe they'll give him. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, all 3 of those characters nobody cares about. Let's be honest. Nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the Falcon. Nobody cares about the Winter Soldier. Nobody cares about U.S. Agent. But that's why these shows are so good.
It's because
they bring them in for people like you or anybody else that's not really big into it. It brings them out. So people can be like, oh, that's cool. So that's somebody else that I know outside of Spider-Man and people that obviously
actually matter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Basically. Or just those mainstream people that everybody can be like, oh, I like Marvel. And then they name like 3 characters. And it's like now you have an extra character you can add to your 3. So like it's good that they do stuff like that.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
So I mean, all things considered, they did a good job making all those characters obviously more popular than they've ever been in the history of them being in Inception.
In their Inception, exactly. And just to close this, like obviously comparing this to WandaVision and this series, what do you guys think did a better job of captivating your attention and just thought was overall a better show?
You go first.
WandaVision was good for a lot of reasons, and it deserves all the praise it can get because people didn't expect it to be as good for... I mean, I didn't think it was going to be good either because it was the black and white, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. This is not what I was expecting them to do. Turned out to be a very fun mystery... What do you call it? Mystery, romance. It was a little bit of everything. The ending suffered the same way that the Winter Soldier suffered. But ultimately, I still like Captain America and the Winter Soldier more just because it felt more, regardless of what people felt about certain characters, it was still a more powerful, moving TV show in comparison to the 2.
Okay, interesting.
So I choose that just because, they decided to, obviously jump on a very, 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 very topical story elements, and
like the Winter Soldier did.
And they did a decent job. Obviously there was flaws and there was character things that could have done a lot better, but ultimately I just thought the show was more impactful in comparison to the 2.
Fair enough. And you, Dexter, I know walking into this you were actually saying like you were really excited for WandaVision. Like, so what do you think?
If someone had to ask me, like especially random people who maybe aren't the biggest Marvel fans, or in general, or even if they are Marvel fans, I think I'd first actually recommend the WandaVision. I really enjoyed it. It's just so different, right? Like we get a lot of shows that are like the Winter Soldier and Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
So to get something so refreshing like that was a really nice change. I agree that the ending suffered a bit. It was a little.
It was watered down. It was
kind of all of a sudden, boom, this person shows up, and that's like the real like big reason, and you're like, oh.
And then when they fight, it's kind of like you're the Scarlet Witch. Show me some Scarlet Witch shit. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Like
Key blast.
Very end,
Key
right?
blast. Key blast. That's the fight.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, you're
we're in the
supposed
sky.
to be, if her power is so great, and she's supposed to be so great, I don't understand why there wasn't a moment where she didn't like show off how like savage she actually was, because that's what they're implying. So give me a taste of that. So when she actually truly learns how to do that stuff, it's even more like, holy shit. Like, I thought she was savage before, And
no, definitely.
It
could have.
When she teleported her to that other world, and she gets like.
That's nothing, though.
She gets like
that's
drained.
nothing.
She gets like backwards drained or whatever. But either way, yeah. Like in terms of like creativity and like the humor and
just shock factor.
Shock value. Yeah,
Yeah,
you actually,
come on.
I guarantee most people would not expect what is going to happen in that show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
And
intrigued.
then people who were into the sitcoms and were into those funny shows, like I think a lot of people will find some type of relevance in that show to agree with.
Yeah.
So all those elements were really fun.
Yeah.
Just
to gravitate towards, just to piggy off your point, like I have to say WandaVision as well, just because again, like it's a testament to your writing in your story that I can't see what the next story beat is. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest thing for me. Like when watching both of these two series, I saw one that's very predictable. I know what's going to happen. And I do have a source of something. You have an example to build off. Mm-hmm. Winter Soldier is already a film that you can watch. It's the best solo Marvel film. And that's what this show does. It emulates off that. This, WandaVision is doing something completely different. And it was like, all right, we're going to be as vague as possible. We're going to go episode to episode, and you are going to talk to your best of friends and be like, what do you think's happening? Is there a villain? Do you think it's Mephisto? There was none of that during this Falcon and the Winter. I didn't think, oh, who is it? I know who it is. I know who the power broker was in episode 3. Yeah. I was like, okay, who cares? And it's like this, WandaVision was like every episode, I was like, maybe that guy's Mephisto. Maybe this person's that. Oh my gosh, are they going to include a different villain? Are they going to do Nightmare? Bro, I can't begin to just to analyze and be like, bro, there's nothing. WandaVision is like the testament of like, okay, if this is what you guys are doing with Marvel, okay. With your series on Disney Plus, people were like, oh man, like they're not gonna make good Disney shows. Like I remember when this was first starting, they announced all this stuff. People were like, man, they're only good at doing like movies and shit. And like it's like, no, like they're showing that they can do this in an episode format. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and now like we're just noticing, it's like, what if they just gave it a little bit more episodes? That's another thing WandaVision did. It was like, I remember it was like episode 8, we're all like, yeah, this is gonna be the last episode. And then they did another episode after that. I was like, what the? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Another episode after 6 episodes? And everyone knew it was only gonna be 6 episodes. It was done. And we're like, oh.
Yeah, and the
true.
first like WandaVision 4 episodes are like, they're nothing like how the rest of it goes. So it really does just, it's just like, where are we going, right? And it was just good in that regard, right?
They had an episode that barely had Scarlet Witch and Vision in it, and we were still captivated. I'm sorry, this show was not doing that. Like it was doing a lot of good things for those characters, but I still don't think it ever got to like the hype level of WandaVision. It was like, bro, I like every episode, I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
And I don't think the show did that.
When you're watching the Captain Falcon Soldier, like you're like, I'm watching like a Marvel movie almost. Like that's.
Oh yeah,
it's like a 6-hour.
Completely
it's
different
exactly
shows,
like a movie, but more violent. That was good. You know, there's definitely more violence and action.
Yeah.
The WandaVision, it's like, okay, I want more like that. Where it's just like, how do you do that again?
Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can.
It depends on the character.
Yeah. I was like,
you couldn't do that with the Captain Falcon.
Black Mirror.
No.
They took. You know, they really like took elements from like other shows and
characters like that. It's easier to write like that. Whereas, you know, completely different shows, different themes, different styles.
Battery dying. Okay, we're wrapping up.
All right, so that is basically. I just wanted to ask you guys like what you guys thought about those two series in comparison, and we have Loki up next on the Marvel slate, and we'll do something similar to that when that show comes out. That's my most anticipated show out of Marvel slate of the entire year, so I'm very excited for that. And just any closing comments for you guys?
No, I think Disney Plus.
Yeah, they've been doing a pretty good job just making TV shows and kind of. I mean, they've been doing better than CW. I'll tell you that. So,
so true.
So let's hope that you know, if DC is gonna keep making TV shows,
HBO Max, please.
Yeah, basically, because they have no business on the CW network. No. Maybe if
the Superman show is pretty good though. Besides that, but it seems like it's HBO Max inspired.
I still don't believe that's CW. That's like somebody like funding CW for that one show, and then that's it.
That's it. But yeah, those were our impressions of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season finale and the season as a whole, or you can call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier because that's what they had in the credits. But yeah, that's what we thought about the show. And if you guys have any closing comments, or leave them down below. Let us know what you thought about the season and the finale. Like this video, share it, and subscribe for more content from us, Nerds on the Block. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Yo, you still here, dog? Yo, subscribe to the channel, bro. Make sure you hit that notification bell to stay locked on all of our content when it drops.
What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, bro.
But block these up.
Seriously, like it's so easy, bro. Just click the button, bro.